Hi guys, so we have an O-level past paper question from the year 2017. The session is May-June. This is question number 12, the last question of this paper. We'll find the perimeter, the area of a sector, and the total shaded area of this figure. So let's start. In this question, they've given us this shape, and the question reads, OAB is a sector of a circle, center O and radius 10 centimeters. AOB is 72 degrees, and C is the point on the arc AB such that OC bisects AOB right in the middle. The first part says calculate the perimeter of the sector OAB. That means we need to find the length of this side. We already have the length of this side. We need the length of this side, and we need the length of this arc AB. The length of this side would also be 10, but let's find the length of the arc AB. How do we find that? The formula for the circumference of any circle is 2 pi r. However, this represents only 72 degrees out of the entire 360 degrees of the circle. That means we multiply this by 72 over 360. Let's plug in the values to find the perimeter. This is the length of the arc. So the arc would be 72 over 360 times 2 times 3.142 times 10. Okay, once you're done with this, we need to add 10 to it and then another 10 to it to find the total perimeter. So I can instead write P over here for the perimeter and plug this entire thing into the calculator. When we do this, we do 72 over 360, which is being multiplied by 2 and 3.142 and 10. We get 12.568 plus 10. This gives us 32.6. So the perimeter of this shape is 32.6. You write it over here, 32.6 centimeters. The next part says calculate the area of the sector OAB. The area of a circle can be found by this formula pi r square. However, since this area of sector, since this sector is just 72 degrees once again out of the entire 360 degrees, so you do 72 over 360 times pi r square. Okay, let's plug in the values. You have 72 over 360 times 3.142 times 10 squared. Let's plug this into the calculator. 72 divided by 360 times 3.142 times 100, because that's the square of 10, and we end up with 62.8 centimeters squared. So we write the value over here, 62.8. Okay, the next part of the question says calculate the total shaded area. We have the area of the entire sector, which is 62.8. What we need is the area of this triangle and the area of this triangle so that we can subtract it. The area of this triangle and this triangle would be, of course, be the same. So if we can find the area of one of these, we can just multiply it by 2 and then subtract the total from 62.8. So let's calculate the area of AOC. How do we do that? Area of triangle AOC can be found by multiplying half by 10 by 10 by sine what? Half of 72. Why? Because this is just half of this triangle. So 72 over 2 would be 36, or we can write it over here, 36. Okay, what we do is we do 0.5 times 10 times 10 times sine 36, and we end up with 29.8. okay, yeah. Now we can multiply this by 2 to find the area of these two triangles. Okay, if you multiply this by 2, what do we get? We get 58.8. We get 58.8 centimeters squared for both the triangles. If we subtract, okay, so the shaded area would now be 62.8 minus 58.8, because we'll only be left with the shaded area once we subtract these two values. So 62.8 minus 58.8 gives us 4 centimeters squared, which is the shaded area, 4 centimeters squared. Okay. The next part of the question says they've given us a similar shape, but D is the point on the arc such that arc AB such that AOD to DOB is 1:2. That means if you look at this ratio right here, we can directly apply this on the angle 72 over here. So this angle would be 1/3 of 72. When you divide 72 by 3, what do we get? You get 24 degrees. So this angle right here is 24 degrees. And this angle right here would be double of this, which is 48 degrees. Okay. So what we have to do is the question is, Gavin says that the shaded area on this diagram is the same as the shaded area calculated in part D2. Is he correct? Show your working. So we have to compare the area we find here to the area we found here, which is 4. Okay, we already have the area of the entire sector. So area of AOB was 62.8 centimeters squared. We can find the area of this triangle and this triangle, added together and again subtracted from 62.8. We'll get the shaded area. So how do we find the area of AOD? Again, area of triangle AOD can be found by multiplying half by 10 by 10 by sine. This time it's 24. Okay, let's find what this is. We do 0.5 times 10 times 10 times sine 24, and we get 20.33 centimeters squared. Okay, now we find the area of the other triangle. Area of triangle, what's the other triangle? DOB. DOB. So we do half times 10 times 10 times sine, and what's the angle? 48 degrees. So we write 48 over here, and let's plug this into the calculator. We do 0.5 times 10 times 10 times sine 48, and we end up with 37.2 centimeters squared. Okay, now let's add these areas up. So area of unshaded region is 37.2 plus 20.33. Okay, plus 20.33, and we end up with 57.5 centimeters squared. So the area of shaded region would be 62.8 minus 57.5. Let's see what we get. 62.8 minus answer, we get 5.3 centimeters squared. So Gavin is wrong, and we're done. I hope the question made sense. The complete working of the entire question is present in the description below for you to download. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button, and thank you so much for watching.